Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori and welcome to my channel, Once Upon a Stitch. Thank you for those who've just found me and have subscribed. I'm glad you did. Thank you for all the people who return every 2 weeks to visit with me. I'm so happy that you do. I'm going to get right into everything because I have a lot to share with you today, and I don't want it to be too long because I know there's a lot of people making Flosstube videos now, and with Mania right around the corner, everybody's going to be uploading theirs, so I want to get mine out there as well. So I'm going to start with a few things that I forgot in my last video. And one was, after I made my last video, my husband was going to the post office. I made some masks and he was mailing them out to his mother and his sister and my nephew. And so he was going to the post office. So since he did, I asked him to bring the 3 giveaways that I were offering, I guess about 2-3 videos ago. And he did mail them. I'm hoping that they received them. I haven't heard anything, but I hope they received them because they should have by now. But if it's like my mail service, I think there's some days that they don't come around. But I'm patient. I hope the recipients received it. Also, this is what I forgot to say in my last video. I showed this pillow, and I had said when I finished stitching it, I said that I can't fully finish it because I don't have any interfacing, because it's a white background and I wanted to put interfacing to give it more stability and make it come out pretty. So there were a few people that reached out to me and said, hey, tell me what you need, I'll send it to you. And my very dear friend Barbara Nelson was the first person that said it, and I says, all I need is about a 9-inch piece. And Barbara was so generous, she gave me more than a 9-inch piece, and I was able to finish this. And I forgot to thank her, so Barbara, thank you so much. It did mean the world to me. And so thank you. I couldn't have done this without you. Love you. Alrighty. So, questions. Somebody asked how I get my fabric on a Q-snap when it's a large piece of fabric. And I guess the largest piece that I do get on my Q-snap is His Eye is on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. And basically, and I followed a tutorial that, I don't know if it was a tutorial just for that, but it might have been in her videos. Emily C., Eclectic Possessions. She showed how to put fabric on a Q-snap, and basically she did it almost like this in the air, but I always lay it down. I put my Q-snap down, and then I decide where I'm going to work in the pattern. And so I would, let's say, start at the top, put the snap on, go to the bottom. Now if it's a long piece of fabric, I just fold it up once, put the Q-snap piece on, then do the 2 sides. And if the sides are long, I'll just fold it over once and put the Q-snaps and tighten it. And then what I do with the fabric is I kind of roll it or fold it up on all the sides that it's long. And for instance, on what I did, I used a 11 by 11 Q-snap, but I used an 11 by 17 grime guard. And I roll up the fabric and I put it in the grime guard, and it seems to hold it in place. So far this has been working for me. And even with Templar Prophecy, it's a little bit larger fabric. I do the same thing. I roll it up neatly, put it under the grime guard, and it's not in my way of stitching, whether I do two-handed or bring my arm up and down. It doesn't get in my way. So I hope that helped. How I put my pillows together. I said in previous videos, I don't feel comfortable enough doing a video because there are so many awesome people that show you how to do it. And if you go to Vonna, the Twisted Stitcher, she has tutorials that she will take you step for step. Basically, a quick answer is I put right sides together of the fabric and the stitch. I stitch around, leave a piece on the bottom open, flip it, stuff it, hand stitch it, and then if I'm going to put any trim around it or not. that's it in a nutshell, but I wouldn't be able to, it would take me hours to show you. I don't know how to fast forward it in certain sections. So, I mean, there's people that really know what they're doing, not me. But that's that. So I hope, you know, it's not that I don't want to share it with you, it's that I'm not confident enough to shoot one of those videos. Okay, I received some happy mail. This was a card, and it's from my friend Tina. For love of the stitches, Tina and her daughter Ashley make videos, and it was funny. I did speak about them once before, and when I saw them together, I thought they were either friends, or I didn't think they were mother and daughter. But that's how young Tina looks, and she's awesome. She sent me a beautiful card with a lovely sentiment. It has a pattern in the back. Actually, the pattern is of this basket right here, and eventually I will stitch it. And what she shared with me is she saw that I was stitching the scattered seed samplers spring gathering, and this one's spring delivery that goes with it. And the more I looked at it, at first I wasn't going to stitch the pipe, but I'm looking at it as one of those pipes that used to blow bubbles when I was growing up. And I'm going to say that's bubbles coming out of the pipe and not smoke. She also shared Stars and Stripes, and this is, I believe, Brenda Gervais pattern. She was so kind because she heard me say that I want to get some 4th of July patterns and things, so she shared some with me, and I'm forever grateful. And then she also shared Little House Needleworks Brave Hearts. And I love them all. Thank you, Tina. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we're going to get into what I have stitched. Okay, in no particular order. Well, actually last night I took this off the queue snap. And this is the Village Sampler by Prairie Schooler. And I ironed some of these this morning so they wouldn't be too badly creased. I worked on the side border here. I brought it down and went around, and I finished the house, the gates. The trees were done. Fence. The fence is on both sides. This tree, the flowers, the gravestones, and the quilts. So that's what I did. So next section would be the starting of the church. So I'm moving along on this. And I just saw on Stitching Social, Alison finished hers, and she shared it with us. This was the last start that I had last month, but I didn't get it in before my video, and it was the Drawn Thread Sunnyside Sampler. And I'm stitching this on a 28 count Lugana in mushroom. So this was just a start. That's the first house. I have all my lists in this one. I did a conversion from silks to DMC, and maybe there's a few classic colorworks in there. Next one, this was a finish this time. It's Lizzie Kate, Pair of Pilgrims. And I showed you him before, and now I have her completed. So I'm just going to, wrong one. This is the one I just completed. And I have to buy a button of the pumpkin pie, and there's a few other ones. There's a pumpkin. So I'm going, it's hard to see in the picture. It says to refer to the picture, but it's so hard to make out which buttons. I think his has a flower here and the pumpkin, and hers has the apple pie, but I can't make out what this bottom one, it looks like a bird, and she has a bird maybe on her shoulder. So I don't know when I go to Just Another Button Company website if they'll have it as the Pair of Pilgrims set, or if I have to get it individually. So I have to, I tried looking a little bit, but I have to delve more into it. This was also a little finish. It was the pet store from the hometown holidays, and I finished, and I was able to get the tree, and I thought I was a little too close to the edge, but it worked out. And what I did was, there's a dog and a cat here, but I put another dog in this window to make it look like my son Ozzy's dog. My son's dog, Ozzy. So I finished that one. These might be on hold for a while, the remaining of them. But I will get them stitched. The next one is His Eye is on the Sparrow. And I finished the top border with the flowers. I had finished the border, but I didn't have all the flowers in. So I got all the flowers in. Let's see if I can show this. Okay, got all the top border done. And because I'm doing it on a 28 count, which it is called for, it is quite large. So, and then, let's see, then I finished the basket. The basket has 2 colors in it, and let me get in close, and I only had one, and so I was able to get the second color in, those flowers, the bird next to, I have one more flower to put in, the bird next to it, and the cow, and those 2 motifs near the cow. That's what I got stitched this time. So, my husband said to me, he saw the Templar Prophecy, and he goes, "Oh, is that the largest one you have?" And when I took this one out of the case now, I said, "No, this is the largest one that I have." He goes, "Where are you going to put that?" He says, "Let me finish it first, and then we'll figure it out." So, okay. Then I picked up the Early American series, and I'm on Abigail Adams. And I did not finish the block. This is an 18 count Ada in vintage country mocha. You can see the modeling on it. And which is the one the earlier one I showed you with the Prairie Schooler Village Sampler. That's done on a 16 count country mocha. And that is easy to stitch on. Like the threads go through it really nicely. On this one, because it's 18 count, I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with getting it through the holes. But okay, here's Abigail's house. So I finished the house except the inside of the windows. I have to do them yet. And then, so I guess I didn't finish the house. I did the outside of the house. I did the tree and her name. So it was slow going, and I think it's because I struggled to get the needle in. I tried different size needles, but because it's 2 threads, I think that's the reason. And there's enough of the fabric here that I probably can get another piece in it. So I think I might do something maybe with 1 thread, even if it's not like a full coverage. Like these stitches look like little pearls. I mean, they do look pretty. Okay, the next one I stitched on was the Templar Prophecy, and if I hold it up correctly, here you go. And I started page 4. Okay, let me see if I can put white behind it. Okay, so this is the entire piece so far. And right where this straight line was the end of page 3. So I ended up stitching the entire top border, which I was glad. I frogged twice in this. 1 stitch can make of moving it over too much or over the wrong way can throw the whole thing off. So I had to frog twice this time. It's not the first time, but it worked out at the end. So I finished the top border. I came down and started the unicorn and I guess the 2 flowers. And so that's my progress for 2 days. I do enjoy this. Oh, I enjoy all of it. I mean, why would we stitch it if we didn't enjoy it? So that's a lot of fun. And sometimes I'll post my progress on the Facebook page of the Templar Prophecy. I didn't do it yet because I wanted to show everybody else first. Oops, the pattern. And then this was a partial finish. This is Douglas fir from Jack Frost's Tree Farm. I'm doing the 3 trees as little pillows, and then the other section I'm doing as a flat. So here's Douglas fir. So all I have left is balsam, and then I'll be able to finish them. I think I'm going to make them little pillows that they can hang together. Okay, and then, which I didn't get to yet, oops, which I didn't get to yet. I think the camera came down a little bit. Let me see if I can, okay. I don't know if that's any different or not. Today is April 29th. I forgot to say that in the beginning. It's April 29th, and it's my 52nd Flosstube. You would think by now I'd have it down pat, right? No. So tonight and tomorrow night, I will be working on Nora Corbett Geranium. And I'm doing it on an ice blue, there, it shows pretty well, Lugana. So this is what I was trying to explain. This fabric is not very large, but I fold it up, I put it underneath the grime guard, and it seems to hold well. So I'll be stitching this tonight and tomorrow night, the end of April, and then we come to Stitch Mania. I wrote down everything for Stitch Mania, and I have it right here that I'm going to share with you. But before I do that, I just wanted to talk about some new Flosstubers to me. Some of them, one's brand new, but the rest have been making Flosstube, but they're just new to me. And I'm going to say this about all of them. They're all wonderful people. They're all lovely. I love listening to them. I hope you try watching them and seeing if you like them as well. The first one is Coco, and I'll put their titles on the bottom so that you can, if I enunciate incorrectly, you can see the actual spelling of it. So the first one is Cocohamas Stitchery, and her name is Ricio, and I had to go back to find out what her name was. Her latest video, you know, she showed some mirabilias that she's working on, and she gave some tips. So I enjoyed that. So I went back to her first one to find out where she was living, because she was saying it's by the water, it's hot. So, you know, sometimes when we say things in our videos, we assume that people have been watching us and know what we're talking about. So I went back to find out where she came from, where she's living. They're different, so I'm not going to share that with you. That's if you want to find out about her. And she likes to work on mirabilias. The second one is, the title of the Flosstube is Barbara's Daughter, and her name is Kim, and actually she's a very good friend of mine. She's part of my stitching group. So when she said we have a closed group, and she told us that she did it, we all ran over to her channel, and she did an awesome job. Very natural in speaking. She's working on Mirabilia Lady of the Flag. She's doing the Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. Actually, every time she showed something, I says, oh, the next time we're together, I'm asking her to bring it, because I want to see it in person. She's an awesome stitcher. And actually, Barbara, her mother, is the person that I spoke about in the beginning of the video that sent me the interfacing. So they are wonderful, wonderful people. The next one is Alma's Little Wonders, and she works on full coverage pieces, and she does Flosstubes in English and in Spanish. Then I watched Always Amy, And what caught my eye was that she was doing a Blackbird Beetles Mania, and that was her number 35th floss tube. So you see, they're not new, but you might have been watching them, but I was lucky to find her. She is also working on ink circles that she has in progress, and some beautiful, beautiful colors. She shares her whips, and she dyes some fabrics that she shows. The next one is Running with Needles and Scissors, and her name is Sylvia, and she lives in Germany. And her 4th video had popped up, and that when I started watching her, and again I went back to find out about her, and she talks about her rotation, how, like, you know, I always talk about my 2-day rotation. Well, she handles it a little bit different, so she speaks about that, and she it seems to that she likes to stitch a lot of samplers as well. Then there's Amy, who is Gables Stitcher, and I caught her, I was going to, when I first wrote this, I said I caught her last video, but no, she's made one since, and she shared her Stitch Maynia Plans, which is more like Stitch Sania, and but the one that I watched, she had some beautiful finishes and whips, and she said she was going to be doing a Blackbird pattern video of all the patterns that she has, so I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, that's it for this video. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I'm going to be starting for Stitch Mania, and everybody is going to be handling their Stitch Mania their way, and so I'm calling this Stitch Mania my way. Instead of doing, which is the year's 2020, so you would do 20 new starts in the month of May. I guess that's the original concept behind it. But because I have whips that I also want to make progress on, I'm not going to do that, because 20 whips, if I do it a 2-day rotation, it would make me into 40 days out, and there's only 31 days in May. So I kitted all the ones that I want to start, and probably more will be kitted because I'm waiting for stuff in the mail. So what I'm doing is, right now I have 18 projects kitted. 8 will be started in May, 8 will be started in June, and whatever else I kit up will be the start of July. And then that's it. I will hopefully not be starting any new stuff for a while after that, but I am going to start one at the end of July. I'll get to that when I go over my haul. But that's if we have retreat. We're scheduled to go to the New Jersey Flosstube retreat. Is the very last weekend in July into the first couple of days of August. We don't know. We don't know if we can have a group of 100 in a room together by that time. So everything is up in the air. But so that's how I'm going to do my Stitch Mania. I'm going to stitch on something for 2 days, move on to the next. But instead of a new start every day, every 2 days, it's going to be a new start, a whip, a new start, a whip, a new start, a whip, and to the end of the month. And then it'll be the same thing for May, so that I don't have all the new ones together and then just my whips. So I don't know how many whips I have as of now, but I'm starting 18 new projects plus whatever I have. And then I'll work and see how I can progress on them. So some things are not going to see any progress for a month or two. So stick around. Enjoy the journey. I hope you enjoy it with me. So if you would like to tell me how you're doing your Stitch Mania, I'd love to hear it. And what I will also do is, if you do share any plans of whether you're going to do a Stitch Mania or what they're calling a Stitch Sania, which for people who, a lot of times, I think it was Lindy's Stitches, Stephanie, made mention that she was going to stitch on a whip for the week, and she's going to have goals. If she meets those goals, then the weekend she'll start a new project, and then it'll go through the 4 or 5 weekends that are in May. I'm not sure exactly if it was 5 weekends this year or 4, but that's how she was going to do it. She was going to set goals for herself. If she reaches them, then she'll do a new start on the weekend. So if you'd like to share what you're going to be, how you're going to handle Stitch Mania, I will tally it and in the next video I'll bring it out to everybody who watches, because we have a platform that we can share it with you. I know a lot of you don't do videos, but if you'd like to share, I'd love to hear about it. Okay, starting Stitch Mania, and these are not going to be in the order that, because they've been tousled around in here. So I have written down how I might do it, but this is not the order. But I am going to start from my friend Tina, Brave Hearts by Little House Needleworks, and I will be stitching that on a 28 count Lugana in Wedgwood. I'm glad the blues are showing through. It seems sometimes that they would get washed out. So that will be a start. I should put that here. This pattern was from my friend Alma, and it's a little one, so I'm hoping I can get this done. This is Lizzie Kate family, and it did come with the bird, and I'm stitching it on a 28 count Jubilee in ivory. And I got confused between Jubilee and Jaslyn. I find it a little, for myself, I find the holes a little difficult to see, the Jaslyn, but I do like the Jubilee a lot. It's thicker than a Lugana. It has more substance to it, so I really enjoy the feel of it and stitching on it. Then I have another Lizzie Kate, Ho Ho Ho, and I'm doing this on a 28 count Lugana, and I think it's a little bit darker than the mushroom, but it seems to match the color in the sample. Yeah, it was a piece, and I counted it out to make sure that it was large enough that I can do this, and it was. Then you're going to notice that I have a lot of prairie schoolers in here, and it just fell that way. Last year when I did Stitch Mania, I did a autumn Halloween Mania, so everything had to be either autumn or Halloween. Originally I was going to do a Christmas one for this year, but I realized that I want more than just Christmas, so I'm doing some of everything. Maybe next year I'll do something else. Prairie Schooler, Merry Christmas alphabet. You'll have to stick around and see how I'm going to do that one. And this is on an 18, I believe it's 18 count, Platinum Ada. I have the name, but I didn't do the count. I didn't actually count it out, but I will. So I just have a piece of it. It was cut off from something, and I'm going to do some alphabet. Probably little pillows. They're going to be really tiny. The next one is Plum Street, Peace, Love, and Purpose. And I chose this one because of the flag, so that I can also keep it out for the 4th of July when it gets done. And I'm going to be stitching this on a 28 count Rock Quarry Lugana. It's showing a little blue, but it's a little bit, grayish. So I'm looking forward to starting that one. Prairie Schooler, Little Red Riding Hood. So on the theme of the 3 pigs, I'm doing the next in what I call my series of Little Red Riding Hood, and I'm doing this. This was on the same count as the 3 pigs. It's an Ada, and I believe it's 18 count. And it looks like it's platinum. It was platinum that I did it. So it's coming out a little, here, there's a better color. So it'll be on the same fabric that the Three Pigs was, so I believe it was Platinum Ada. This is from Dena. She won one of my giveaways, and she sent me this Prairie Schooler, number 117 Prairie Stars. So I'm going to stitch it in my Stitch Mania, and I'm just going to stitch it on a white, I have threads on it, on a white piece of Ada, because it's going to be a full coverage little piece. So I will be stitching that one. You know, sometimes you look at these little ones and you say, oh, I could do that in one day, never mind two. And then when you start stitching them, you realize how much stitching is involved. The next one is New York Dreamer, Wintertime. I've said this in the past, that this one reminds me more of Leanne than Baby It's Cold Outside. Even though they were doing the stitch along with that. And I probably will do that in time. But because she taught Barbara how to do this in a video, I associate this pattern with Leanne. So I'm going to start this one, and I'm going to start it on a 14 count Ada in doubloon that comes from Picture This Plus. So that should make a really nice pillow. I ran out of project bags of the larger size, but I because I'm using the smaller one for this, but I just took out the pair of Pilgrims, so I'll be able to swap that out. And I don't know if you saw the one prior to this that I pulled out. It has these pom-poms. Kim and Barbara gave me that for my birthday last year. I'm going to be stitching Autumn Alphabet by the Scarlet House, and I will be stitching that on a piece of Lugana, and it looks like it's ivory, no tag on it, and I'm almost positive I worked out the details that it would fit in here. Actually, I have a piece of paper that tells me what this fabric is. It is ivory, but it's Jubilee. It's that it's a little thicker than Lugana. Jubilee in ivory. And I will probably finish it in a little pillow, just like that, when it gets done. This one is also from my friend Alva. She stitched this, and then she gave me some patterns, and she said, stitch them, and then you can pass them along. So whenever I get this done, I will. The Red Rooster Inn by Little House Needleworks, and I will be stitching that on a 28 count Lugana in ivory. I guess it's easier if I show it back here. It's a creamy color. I think it'll be pretty with the Red Rooster Inn. Some of you that follow how many people we have subscribed to our channels, you'll see that I'm close to 3,000. I'm not going to have a giveaway until I'm able to get out and go to the post office and mail things out, and then I will have a giveaway again. The next one I purchased was All Through the Night, Boo. Now, when I look at this saw this pattern, I says, oh, that doesn't look too bad. A couple of colors, I should be able to get this kitted up really quickly. I couldn't. It called for all Gentle Arts, and Gentle Arts are hard to come by right now. I have some of them. I'll start it. That bird is going to be huge. It'll take me a while, but I will start it. And this is going to be on a 16 count Ada in Shale by Picture This Plus. Now, I know a lot of you go by what is on the call for fabrics. And I'm just going by what's in my stash. Sometimes I just buy fabric when I'm at the store. If I like the color, it's different. I'll buy it and then I make it work. I don't know if it always works. It's going to be the actual proper color for it, but for me, it's okay. So, next one is a Brenda Gervais, Merry Christmas. Even though it says ho ho ho, it's called Merry Christmas. And I'm doing this on a 28 count Lugana in clay. So I'm looking at the color in person and on the screen. On the screen it looks a little like tan, but in real life it might have a little bit more red in it. Clay. I guess clay has more red in it. Okay. Next one is Rosewood Manor Christmas Blues. I'm going to select one ornament from this pamphlet and I'm going to stitch it. So you'll have to stay tuned to see which one I select. And this is going to be on a 28 count antique white Ada. And I believe that's what it called for. Maybe not. The next one is Abby Rose Designs, and this is called Sweet Summer. And I will be stitching that on a 28 count Lugana in Laurel Green. See, to me it doesn't look that green, but I think it'll be pretty with these colors. I hope I'm right. Next one, I made a working copy of this because it's hard to, okay, cover up the pattern, read, so I had to enlarge it a little bit. Birds of a Feather Alphabet Sampler. And I will be stitching that on a 16 count Dirty Ada. And this one, I believe it only has 3 colors. Yes, 3 colors. It had Weeks Dye Works. I didn't have any of them, so I'm doing it in DMC. I had those. Lantern Lane by Little House Needleworks. And I am doing that on a 28 count Picture This Plus Legacy Lugana. And here's a piece. I hope it looks okay. And then finally kitted up, oh no, I have one more. Okay, Evergreen by the Prairie Schooler, and I will be stitching one of these squares as an ornament. I haven't decided which one, but I will select one and stitch it up and then finish it as an ornament. And I will be stitching that on 28 count Lugana in Laurel Green Swigart. Okay, this was actually part of the haul that I purchased. So I purchased the Bluebird. So that's it for my Stitch Mania, except this one that I'm showing you now, which is also kitted up. I purchased the Bluebird Sampler by Heart and Hand, and it calls for 1 color blue and, no, actually 2 colors. One is a DMC, 2 classic Colorworks. oh no, it's the beads. I'm sorry, I'm reading it incorrectly. The beads, they attach the beads inside here. So I did not have the actual Chesapeake Bay, so I'm doing it with blue corn. And I will be stitching it on a 28 count Lugana in Wren. So that will be my bluebird. And this will be part of my Stitch Mania. Okay, I also bought a piece of 16 count, picture this, plus Ada in Heartland. I picked up some floss that I needed for his Eyes on the Sparrow and Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. This is going to, the straw bonnet is going to be for the house there. That was a huge house that I was running. I actually almost ran out. So these were some threads that I needed for projects that have been already kitted up. I ordered some DMC. I'm going to be doing Kringles in DMC. So I started picking up some of the DMC colors for it. I think I'd like to stitch this on a light ash gray from Needleworkers. I don't know if they have it in or not. I haven't contacted them for that yet. I also purchased, because I saw Dena's half stitch cross stitch. She was working on this and she actually finished it, and I thought it was, the colors were so beautiful. They're done in DMC and they're beautiful. It's a long list, but eventually. What I had was thinking, which I will share with you, is that I would like to stitch more samplers. But is a sampler only with an alphabet, or is his Eyes on the Sparrow, is that considered a sampler? Is Long Dog Samplers Templar Prophecy a sampler? Does it have to be that it was stitched by a young child at one point and made into a sample, like that they put alphabets in it? I'm trying to figure out that one. I haven't figured that out. I shared this pattern a while ago, and it's a chatelaine. It's a mini chatelaine. It's only small, but what I did was I ordered fabric for it because it says it could be stitched on a 38 count or a 16 count white or off-white Ada. So I believe this might be white. It's just a piece that I cut out that it would fit. And what I'm starting to do with this is I'm starting slowly to kit it up of what I need, because this is what I would like to start if I attend the New Jersey retreat. I would like to start this because I think it'll be a nice thought of starting something new there and being with friends, and I want to remember this as something like that. So I'm starting to kit that up. I ordered, and it came in, Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. Now, this has an alphabet, so I'm assuming it's a sampler. But if the alphabet wasn't there, would it be a sampler? Brenda and Laura, please respond. You can do it in your videos. I will watch it. Okay, this was also kitted up. I ordered it kitted up from 123 Stitch, and that was the Cornwall Cottage sampler. But I didn't have the fabric. And Krafty Kim in Canada is stitching it on an white 22 count Hardanger 1/1. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if I can see this, but I'm going to give it a shot. Maybe when I have my magnifiers on and the lighting is just right, I will be able to do that. But it's a 22 count hardanger piece that I will kitted this up. This will not be started now. Then I picked up some fabric, and I got a 28 count Lugana in cream, 18 count Lugana in platinum, and I purchased the platinum because of Prairie Schooler. I have a few Prairie Schoolers that I wanted to keep it all the same color. And then this is another piece of hardanger white in 22 count that I bought in addition to the other one. I says if I'm buying one, I might as well buy two. Hardanger. Do you use hardanger just like regular? Or do you have to do, well, she's doing that piece on. I'm just talking to myself. Ignore me. I showed this before, and I have pattern 2 and a few others. The Blackbird Designs Anniversaries of the Heart. But I was able to get the fabric for it. And that is a 28 count Lugana in Heritage. This was dyed for me by Needleworkers Delight. And it's a very large piece, so that I can stitch them all together. And I think that's it. Yes. Yes, that was the hardanger. Okay. I think we're good. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them below. I'll respond in the next video if I don't do it personally. If you want to share your Stitch Mania plans or Stitch Sania plans, please do. I'd love to hear about it. And today I'm going to put this mess away, do some laundry, and stitch. Oh, I have to cook too. Oh well. But until next time, stay safe. I hope you're well. Take care and happy stitching. Bye guys.